Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. Today's video is inspired by a poll that I made on my Instagram video. Long story short, a get ready with me full face ended up winning between that and skincare. So today I will be doing a very quick get ready with me. It'll be my full foundation routine as well as a really fun eyeshadow look that I haven't done yet. So I'll just get right to it. I am going to be using a primer first before I do my foundation. So I've never done a get ready with me. I know that a lot of YouTubers do a get ready with me, and it's really not a tutorial. It's more of a get to know me kind of chat about what's happening. I'm very new to that, so I'm not really sure what to say specifically. So I'll just kind of say what comes to mind and we'll go from there. So I'm using the NYX Honey Do Me Up as a primer, and I actually really like this primer for any time of the year. It's not necessarily one that I would use only in winter or only in summer. And for foundation today, I'm going to be using the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation. I am in the color medium olive. Since I have not had any sun at all pretty much this whole year, it might seem a little orange on me, so I think we're just kind of gonna go with the flow and hopefully it works. So it does look slightly orange. The only thing I'm not a huge fan of with this foundation is that it does tend to oxidize a little bit. It does look a little more orange after it's been on my skin for a couple of minutes. So hopefully we can correct that with our concealer. So due to the circumstances that are happening in the world right now, it is slightly difficult to get any kind of creative juices flowing. I have had very little desire to do my makeup. This is actually the first time I'll be doing my makeup in over a week, and before that it was probably 3 weeks. So I've been I've been very slacking on my YouTube page. I only have one video out, and it was a first impressions of the Tati Beauty Blendiful, and you can check that out if you haven't already. It was a long video, and I'm gonna try to make this one a little bit shorter, but it was fun to film. It was my first one. I know what I want to fix, what I want to change, and what I would be doing better. So this foundation, I would say, is more of a medium coverage. It definitely does mattify, so if you do have dry skin, I don't really recommend it. I do have more of a combination oily skin. During winter, it does tend to dry out slightly, but I do use a lot of serums during winter, so I don't dry out too much. Okay, so we're gonna let that set for just a second, and then I will be applying my concealer. Now I know a lot of people find it strange that I do my face before my eyeshadow, especially when you're using a very pigmented shadow. It's just the way I've always done it. I always feel like my makeup on my eyes goes on a lot better when I have my foundation base on already. So I do get a little bit of fallout depending on what shadows I use, but for the most part it's not anything that is super, super noticeable, and I usually can just brush away any fallout with setting powder. So I'm going to go in with my camo concealer, the 16-hour e.l.f. camo concealer. I use the color Sand just because I like the highlighting effect of a concealer. I don't necessarily, I do like the concealing aspect of it, but I really like having certain areas of my face highlighted, and this is a very thick concealer in my opinion, so you don't need very much. I don't really like to let it set because it does set down pretty matte. So again, I go in with my beauty blender. So I'm not really sure what a get ready with me entails, besides just doing my makeup. I feel it's only natural for me to just talk about the makeup that I'm wearing, but from what I've seen with influencers and YouTubers, is a get ready with me is just get to know me while I'm doing my makeup, and it's not necessarily makeup based, but I'm just getting to the point of getting comfortable being in front of a camera, so that might take a couple of videos before I can actually get used to talking about myself instead of just the makeup that I'm wearing. Okay, so that blends really, really well when the NYX foundation has not fully set. Now, the good thing about this foundation is that since it does set down pretty matte, I will go in with a setting powder just in my under eyes, just so it sets a little more evenly and it doesn't crease like everyone. I do have some wrinkles under my eyes. So I'll just be going in with the JSC setting powder foundation in the color Beige. And I will be using my Tati Beauty Blendiful for applying this. So I'll actually just be using this corner and dipping into my setting powder. Now I won't be doing my eyelids just because I will be putting on eyeshadow. If I wasn't going to be wearing eyeshadow today, I would also set my eyelids. This setting powder smells so good. And I will set my forehead and my chin slightly. So next up, I will be doing my bronzer. Now I tend to skip around quite a bit from this step. That's all I do to my face until the very end. So that's just my personal preference. So I'm going to be going in with the Butter Bronzer in Bronzer. Now this is my go-to. I have a couple of bronzers and I just don't reach for them as much as I do this one. Just because of the shade, I feel like the other ones that I have might be a little too dark for me, make me look a little orange. So I'm just going to go in really quickly and bronze my face. Now, I've never really been a person to use contour. I don't know if I've just not found the right products or have the right technique, but I just recently started using bronzer, and I really like how natural it looks versus a contour, and that's probably because I'm not doing a contour correctly. So if you're doing it correctly, it probably looks very natural, but I've yet to learn, so I will stick with bronzing. Okay, so now we'll move on to eyebrows. So I'm going to go in with the ABH Brow Dip. I am in the color Medium Brown. Now I really like Brow Dip, except for the fact that it dries out really quickly for me. But just the blendability of the product, I really enjoy. I don't need too much, fortunately, but I do like to fill in certain areas just near the bottom that seem a little patchy. So So for the eye look that I'll be doing today, I'm actually going to recreate a look, one of my very first looks that I did on Instagram, and that was using my Chaos Makeup Just a Girl multi-chrome powder. This is a pigment, so this was actually the second picture that I posted on Instagram, and it's actually one of my most viewed pictures, and that's the reason that I wanted to use it again, just because in that original picture I used kind of a smoky crease, so it made it look a little gray and muddy. So today I'm actually going to go a little bit different. I'm going to be using the Strawberry Shake palette by ColourPop, and what I want to do ideally is use one of the pink nudes to kind of smoke out my crease, and then I'll be doing the Just a Girl pigment all over my lid, and I'll kind of show you how to do that. I have a couple of kind of quick tutorials on my Instagram page on how I use a multi-chrome pigment, and you'll kind of see the mixing medium that I use and how I use it. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to go in with a little tapered brush, and what I'll do is I'll start off with the shade My Milkshake. Now this is more of a pink shade than Just a Girl. That one is a little bit more magenta, but we'll kind of see how it turns out as we go. Tap off the excess. Now these are some of the shades that can potentially cause fallout, so I want to be really careful when I'm tapping it on, and make sure that most of what I'm putting on my lid actually stays on my lid. And that just means tapping or dipping in, tapping it off, and then applying. And you're gonna probably do that more often than somebody who just does an eyeshadow base and then does their face. But again, this is just what works for me. I've actually recently been doing a lot more purple looks on my page, and that's merely because purple is one of my favorite colors to play with on myself. So I'm trying to venture out into different shades as well, so hopefully this is a good start. Okay, now to smoke it out, I'm going to take a fluffy crease brush, and I think I'm going to go in with a mixture of Woke and Paper Straw. So I'm just kind of dipping into both, and then I'm going to smoke out the pink further up my crease. And what I do is I tend to apply it just right above, and then I go through and blend out. But whatever works best for you. And naturally, I did not pluck my eyebrows today, so please excuse my eyebrows. I'm actually really liking that combination. It's the best of both of those nudes. And I really like to smoke out my crease. I like to get it very close to my eyebrows, but that is personal preference. So the Just a Girl pigment is a little more magenta. So it's a multi-chrome pigment, which means that based on the lighting, the color changes. So the color Just a Girl goes from a very bright magenta to a gold to almost like a June or like a beetle green. And you'll kind of get to see it. I'll kind of try to show you the shift. Looking at my crease right now, maybe pink wasn't the best idea, but we will make it work. So up next is going to be the multi-chrome pigment. Now, if you've watched my other tutorial using a different multi-chrome, you know my routine. I personally really like working with the loose powder. Reason being is I have the mixing medium. Now the mixing medium that I use is from a different brand called JD Glow Cosmetics. They have their own multi-chrome line, and I actually do have one of their shades. But I use their Stay Put mixing medium. So this is basically to intensify the pigment but also help it stay. Multi-chrome pigments are usually made with a black base. So if you don't use a good tacky base on your eyeshadow, or if it's too dry, you will see a muddy effect. So we do not want that. So what I do is I just take a little glass bowl, I sprinkle a little bit of the pigment into it, or a lot, whichever, and then I grab some of the Stay Put mixing medium, and I start with about 4 drops at a time, and then I grab a flat brush. Any flathead brush works, and then I just start mixing. And I don't want to get a paste that is too wet or too dry. So there's a very fine line. So I'm gonna add 1 more drop. Let's see what happens. So you just want to mix it until you get a good, kind of almost like a paint consistency. And you don't want to do more than 1 drop at a time, because 1 drop will make a big difference. So this is what my paste looks like. I don't know if that's focusing, but it's a little dry. But that's what I want, something that's not gonna go on too watery, but also not too powdery. Okay, so I think I've got it. So I'm going to kind of coat my brush, and I'm just gonna tap it on my crease. So I hope you can see the color change as I'm applying. So a lot of it looks pink on my inner corner, and then going out it turns kind of a gold green. This is one of my favorite shades. It's so pretty, and I get so many compliments when I wear it out. Today, of course, I will be wearing it to my living room, but that is okay. One thing you want to be really careful of is not mixing enough. So you want to make sure it's well incorporated. The powder is well incorporated with the mixing medium, otherwise you're gonna get chunks, which do end up crumbling and falling off once the mixing medium is dry on your eyelid. So you do want to be mindful of that. Now, one of the benefits of having a liquid eyeshadow is you're able to really control where the color goes versus having any fallout. So that is a huge benefit. So I'm gonna try something new now that I'm here. I'm going to try to wing this color out. I may be completely ruining this look, but I want to try something new. So let's go for it. Not sure how I feel about it yet. Okay, so my camera just completely stopped recording, but I started again. So I may have completely ruined my right eye or the whole eye look, so I'm gonna try to clean it up really quickly. Okay, so quickly, I am just gonna try to clean up the wings because they do look quite uneven. I'm just going to tap this out. Okay, I think I might look crazy. So hopefully you can tell the color shift with this eye look. So now what I'll do is I'll do a little bit of eyeliner, throw on some mascara, highlight, lips, it's a lot to do, and we'll be done. So I'm going to go in with my NYX Epic Ink liner, which is my regular eyeliner that I use all the time. Really, I'm just going to line my lash line. I'm not going to go far beyond that. Okay, then we'll quickly go in with some mascara. All right, now for this eye look, I try to go with a more neutral, natural highlight. So today I have chosen the Kaleidos Makeup Star Surfer highlight. This is a really glittery, pretty pink. So I am going to be using my mini Blendiful for my highlight on my cheeks. And for my nose highlight, I will be using the Morphe M510 brush. And just my finger for my inner corner highlight. And for lip, I always love a neutral moment, so I'm going to be using the Milani Satin Matte in Lavish. Okay, so now all I have left is setting spray and we are done. Okay, so this is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I will try to upload a lot more videos. I have been slacking, but since there is nothing to do at home, hopefully I can make this a priority. If there's anything in specific you guys would like to see, please let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks.